Good afternoon, YouTube. This is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. I know y'all people just saw me about an hour or so ago. I had an interview with a lovely lady from my home city of Carolina, Miss Aubrey Whitley. It was a pleasure to talk to her. I hope she's doing all right. Much respect for her and her family, and thank you for being on my live stream. I support all you ladies in sport of bodybuilding, be so many different divisions, but I support you. So anyway, we're here with the hand of the emperor, the our man of information, Jin, or Gideros, if you want to go by that name. And we welcome him. And we like to. We're going to talk about the Toronto Pro, and we'll give our critiques of it. And if you out there, if you saw the show, tell us and share us your thoughts of what you saw and how you feel. For one thing, he told me that they charged $50 for the finals and $49 for the main show. What the that's crazy. You know what I mean, that is crazy. I don't know. Maybe is they charging Canadian money or
it's American money.
It was American
US dollars.
US dollars. That is, I mean, I was saying like it would make sense. It was $50 for one show, but two shows. That is, and especially people are still struggling with inflation and everything that's going around in America, and the price of gas keep going up, and and everything else, and shortages like that. They really should have really put this thing maybe, even though it was a big show, the Super Show, the Toronto Super Show is a pro-am show. They had the amateur show yesterday. They had the amateur show Saturday, and the pro show Sunday. Yeah. So give us your thought, putting in the hand of the emperor.
Yeah, this is a big show. It's a tier 2 contest, according to the 2022 OQS rules, which means it has the second highest points for the Olympia qualifier, behind just the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia itself. So that's a pretty big show. But the price is ridiculous. Most people are not going to be able to afford that, unless like you literally just go out of your way, like me, to just buy it and just not ask any questions. It's annoying. But what can I say here? Overall, there wasn't as many competitors this time in Canada as there was at the New York Pro that I attended. And yeah, so I guess we can just go a deep dive into these competitors. Some of them we kind of know, and some of them we don't really know.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about, as you know, there was only 4 ladies at this show this year. Last year was 4 women, and 2 came and made a repeat appearances. That was Lisa Codry and Michelle Jin. And as you see on my channel, and you see that I posted that Lisa Codry won the show, and I felt like it was gonna go to her, but from what I was getting from some feedback from some ladies that was at the show who followed the show, they felt like Lisa just didn't have it to really. I mean, this was an easy show for her because the fact was there was no real heavy hitters. As you know, there was one point I was hearing talk that Stephanie Fletcher was going to do the show, but Stephanie has got a foot injury where she's not going to. I don't know how long because she's going to be out with this injury. She may not compete the rest of this month. Maybe she can make it by the time they have the Chicago Pro or the Tampa. And she's just, as you know, she switched from physique to women's bodybuilding, and she debuted at Savannah Pro last year, where she took 4th place. The fourth, yeah, I think fourth. And she hadn't really changed that much since the Savannah. I mean, one thing is, I know size is not as important in fear bodybuilding as it's supposed to be, but it is. I would say it's important enough where you can want to tell the difference between a physique competitor and a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, there's a picture she posted on her on IG. And I looked at them and said, you know what, she hadn't really changed much. Now I saw some pictures of Michelle Jin, and Michelle, from some ladies that we were telling me that Michelle was more balanced compared to Lisa, and I think with Michelle, because she's a little shorter, I think she's probably like about 5'2", 5'3". I think Lisa might be 5'4", just maybe 5'5", just a little taller. And the thing is, like I was talking with Aubrey, she's 5'8". See, like the shorter competitors can really pack on muscle, which really kind of helps because if you especially with your bicep and you have a big bulge. I mean, like I remember people like Clark Gourmand and also Paul Suzuki, who are much shorter female bodybuilders, who really when you get a bicep pose, the bicep was huge compared to taller women like someone like I think Yaxita Keen, she's tall. I think she said she's 5'8", and a couple of ladies are like 5'6", 5'7". It's just that I don't know what the judges wanted. I mean, it keeps switching up every so often. You want the chicks that are like you look at Tusa Ivasic, who was at the indie show with Lisa. She took first place, and then you had Stephanie Fletcher took second. Then you go to New York, and Stephanie takes second to that show, and you look at somebody like Dalla Salib, who's I think also a shorter lady, but really put on a good amount of size. You look at her traps, her shoulders, her body, even her legs. She put on a little good amount of size since the last show she competed was she competed at the Savannah too, but she really made some adjustments. But to me, it's not Lisa hadn't made the adjustments yet. She's still in. She's kind of like Stephanie. Stephanie, she did put a little more size this year, but still not enough where which she could done better at those shows at both the Indy and in New York.
Yeah, I definitely do agree on that. I think she's got too much of that mindset of still being in a physique competitor. But overall, I predicted it was either going to be Lisa or Michelle Jen win this. Because I didn't really know much about the competitor from China, and Michelle Brent is just she's
let's say she's old.
She's past her prime.
Yeah, because she knows. I saw pictures from the show, and we were talking. She told me how she placed third at the show because she let me know because I didn't know about because I was at home. I wasn't even there. I was at home. I was with my aunt at her house, and she let me know that she took third. And so that's pretty good. Third, even though it was only 4 women, it's third place, and it's already I think 7 points she got for the season. So that's good. That's 7 points in your pocket. If you get the right show, making the top 5, you can probably jump up into the point system. If I don't think they updated. I looked a while ago. They hadn't updated the list just yet because it's more. Yeah, because they hadn't updated like yet. Because I know Michelle Jen she had 14 points. Then she takes 8th place. Second place. I gave her 8 points, so she's 22 points. So right now she has a good, strong lead because she's 10 points ahead of Mona Porcelle and Stephanie Fletcher, and she's 11 points ahead of Irene Anderson. So I remember last year when Margita Zambolova she had 16 points before she earned a qualification at the Europa Championship. And this will help because now she's above some ladies who got 6 points, like my dear friend Miss Tana Huey. She's 7 points for Michelle Brent, but she is been in the game for a long time. 64 years old. She looks pretty good. I mean, I'll give it that. But like I said, she is older. It's hard to maintain that level of muscle, especially when you get past 50. And she's 64. But but as we were talking before we started about, I thought the dark horse was going to be Gisela Nunez Chan, and from what I've seen and what I heard, she was a disappointment. And I was thinking she had competed since 2019, I believe. I was thinking she had a time because she was going to do New York Pro, but something happened. I don't know. No one says what happened. It could have been like she might had travel issues, with things going on. Even though the restrictions for coming to America have been lifted, still, there's always something that happens, especially with a visa, something like that. But she did this show, I think, because I think maybe Canada lets you come in a lot easier than it is in the United States. Like I say, hey, and if you have a criminal record, you can't come into America. But it's just there's so much going on with that. But she, from what I was hearing from some of the ladies that were telling me, she just didn't come in dry enough, and she just I don't know because you watch the show, Tell me what was your look of Giselle Nunez.
Well, I watched some parts of the show, but not the entire thing. But what I was going to say is, when I saw Miss Chan on stage, I was extremely disappointed, especially considering I didn't really know too much about her. I mean, I saw photos of her in all clothing, and I thought, oh, she's pretty big. This might be interesting to see her on stage and all this other stuff. Yeah, she came in very disappointing. Everything about her in terms of definition, that's a big one. I think that's the best thing I could take away from her. She looks very flabby, very flabby. Honestly, if you were to give me if I were to do a suggestion of what to do, a couple things. One, fire your coach. Two, take off and do nothing but training for the next year or two. Maybe just a year. I don't know. Three, I don't know. Other than that, just come back better next time. Because there's no way you could look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I look just as good as the other competitors. I don't know what happened, because trying to get information about her is, let's just say, hard sometimes. But it's she needs more training. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I know one lady you suggested she might need at least another 2 or 3 months to make the adjustments. Maybe try to compete maybe by the fall, if not late summer. As you know, we have the Tampa Bay coming up, and also the Savannah. Or she can, if she lives in China, she can always go to Romania, do the Romanian Muscle Fest or the Big Man Weekend right after. She could do those two shows. She could, and when this is a show where I said I was talking to some ladies. I said why didn't you do the show? And I said, well, some said that one thing was because they didn't want to take the vaccination because you got in Canada you have to have proof positive that you've been double vaccinated and must have your I think a PSR test to show that you are vaccinated and you are negative. But also some ladies want to take one lady I was talking with. She said she wants to take some time and she wants to just relax. But she was at a show. And I told her she needed to wear that show. I told her, you should have done this show. You probably would have done well. I think you probably would have even possibly beat Lisa Codrick. And she felt like, yeah, I'm probably gonna beat Lisa, but she wanted to take a little break. And I respect that. But here's the thing again: when you get this opportunity, when you have a show like this, and you don't, and you look at the competition, and it's not, hey, you feel like, what, I can probably take this, girls, take it. Take the opportunity. You can always take a vacation later after the show, get your qualification, you can sit and chill, drink lemonade drink lemonade under the shade. But it never hurts you when you see there's an opportunity, you should take it. But some women, they're still prepping. They're really focused on shows that's coming up, like Chicago, the Tampa. I think some are focusing on the Puerto Rico. We have the Omaha, which is next week. I mean, this week, right? This week
Yeah.
is Omaha. I'm sorry, I got to remember my days and times. And that show is, Green Straits is not aligned with that show much anymore. This could be opportunity for some women to. You don't have to really. I don't know if any of the Green Screen ambassadors going to feed this show or not. But this could be show opportunity for you. Like Toronto was a show for opportunity. Never miss an opportunity when you can get it. I understand. You want to take a break, but when you're a competitor, you should never miss opportunities when they're presented to you. And that show was opportunity. You have four competitors. You have one lady who was 64 years old, one lady who's unknown, one lady who's still a physique competitor, and you have Michelle Jett. So
Yeah.
you say to yourself, you know what? I should do this show. Like how like maybe a week or two from your prep. You say, you know what? I got enough time, man. Go in here and boom. But it's all about about timing and whatever else. And last year, Mila Ash won that show, and Mila, she took third at the Romania Muscle Fest. I think there's a couple ladies who could have, like, one lady who took second at that show, Bronca. I forgot how to pronounce her last name. She should have took that show. She should have taken a chance to compete. Or a couple others. Like I said, like a lady I talked to. Miss Tina S. Williams, to say, but Tina, she doesn't want to take the vaccination. I understand her reason personally. Um, Nikki Chartrand, who's from Canada, even though she lives in Arizona, she's from Canada. She could have come to the show, and that could have got a qualification for a second Olympia for her. Mona Pacelli, I said again, Mona. This is a big question. Why? This is in your backyard. You live in Canada. Why not do this show? Because and a different Tanner Huey, she didn't do the show because she focused on other shows. But hey, Tanner, you could have done the show. You might have made, if you like this, if certain women were in this show, and I was talking to some of the ladies, say if certain women was in the show, and I said, where do you think Lisa would have placed? They said Lisa would probably get fourth or maybe third if she's that lucky, depending on who was in there. Any real heavy hitters, like if Stephanie was there, I think like this: if Stephanie done the show, I think Lisa will probably get second.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about Lisa, I would put her as a top mid-tier competitor. So she's definitely somebody who can win a show, but only if pretty much the competition is very light, to say the least. I'm actually shocked that Michelle Jen has pretty much gotten the same second place at every show she's attended so far. This year,
remember, last year she got third, then she got third at New York, and took second this show. This is a little better than the last two shows she did. Yeah. But seriously, I think some people said she felt she should have won. But the thing about the judges, they look for especially like if you look at Michelle, she has great muscle. She's a little more feminine looking. And that's the thing is that there's that push for more muscle and femininity combination, and Michelle has it. But for whatever reason, they went with Lisa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead.
No. I just adding on. Yeah. The judges. Yeah. It changes from region to region. I'm sure at Omaha we're going to see another different change because we're not going to be in these kind of region areas, because you got to remember, like, each region is divided up into like different, like the South is like run by Tim Gardner, and then the North is Dan.
Dave Brower.
No, Dave. No, not Dave Brower. Dave. The person married to Bev Francis.
Oh, you mean Steve Weinberger?
Steve Weinberger.
Yeah. Steve Weinberger. And you got the guys like the Midwest, like Dave Brower, the guy who runs the Omaha, and a couple others, and also you got someone like Gary Udit, who does most of the master stuff.
Yeah. Who runs Omaha? I don't even know.
I forgot the guy's name. I think Tina told me his name. I forgot. I try to remember. I mean, we'll probably talk about later once we do the Omaha. But yeah. I remember she was telling me how they just something about that, and they just didn't click anymore because they used to be aligned with Wind of Strength. But what I was told, they just Wind of Strength kind of separate himself from them for some reason, and they, even though they probably still have a booth there or something like that, I'm not sure, but they're not as, they don't back the Omaha anymore like they did in the past. As you know, one situation happened famously about a few years back when Alicia Young got 7th place. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. It's about, and I'm a fan of Alicia Young. I was got to support she got 7th place, but she was able to still make the Rising Phoenix and did pretty well at that show by getting most muscular. And and Alicia is muscular. I mean, when I do contact Alicia Young, I get a lot of guys like to follow her. She is,
she's got to start competing again.
Yeah, because it's been since 2020 since she last competed. That was the Rising Phoenix. She got 4th place at that show. Then she had 9 points. But then I wasn't sure. I thought she was going to do like maybe the Tampa or maybe one of the Linda shows because she was a Wind Strength ambassador. But I was talking with some people telling me because she had to take some, because she was dealing with some injuries. Not long ago she had some injuries. When she had Bell palsy, she couldn't really. She had also a car wreck. But plus also Alicia's doing a lot of stuff outside of the sport, a lot of modeling, a lot of video stuff. But there's a good chance she might compete. It's she also, I remember she did an interview with Isabel Terrell where she was dealing with her mother. Her mother was going through brain cancer, and that probably was the one thing that probably kind of took her out. Because anything, like I said, I could say from experience, dealing with a sick parent, especially when it's your mom, that can really take a drain out of you. But she said mom's recovered, so I think if you follow her on social media, I think she's really training. She really wants to get back into the groove because she's one of the ladies that I would say has great potential, and she's a mom, and taking care of her daughter and competing, that's a lot. Because I know I'm talking with Aubrey being, herself being a mother and a wife, it's a lot of work to compete and to take care of family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. So the one thing I noticed about this show is that basically I think every competitor on stage except Michelle Brent was a former Physique competitor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just an interesting thing to note there.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? And I think if Lisa continues to evolve and progress throughout the sport, she could become a top-tier competitor if she's really serious and keeps going the way she's going. Because she just got to get out of that physique mindset that she's in right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, also, it's this show we was Physique, where we had Jai Hai Lee has won her qualification for the Olympia, and she was at New York a couple of weeks ago which is second behind um, Natalia Abraham Cueto, and she looked pretty impressive. I think it was just 2 weeks from New York, and for the pictures I saw, she looks pretty impressive. I mean, she has great set of quads. Her lower half really, I think, really with her, I think her upper half needs to catch up with her lower half. I think if she thinks about it, and I don't know if she will, maybe she should consider going up to Women's Open.
Possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Or is it? I mean, you don't have to it's not like you can just choose whenever you want to switch over. So it's not like something that's required or anything like that.
mhm. And then also I was watching one lady who just got her pro card that Saturday. Her name is Jody Johansson. She competed at this show. She did it. She signed her papers, got a pro card, competed, and got fourth place, where she beat out some new up and comers, and also beat up a couple ladies who, like one lady, Mindy O'Brien, who was at least who's been to the Olympia twice during her career, and and there was one lady who I was impressed with. Her name is Jasmine Flores, and for the picture I seen of Jasmine, if I was her, I think she might really consider switching over to women's bodybuilding because from her social media pictures when she was training, she looked cute. She turned pro about a couple of years ago, and she I think at this show she took. Let me see. I'm gonna look here how she placed. See Jasmine. Let's see. Jasmine took fifth place. So, that's pretty good. And that thing is, as long as you can stay in the top epsilon, level, then, some women will stay in physique. But if they get feedback from the judges, they might switch over. Now, another lady who is Eleanor Ellie Dobrinia, who hadn't competed for over 3 years. She's from Canada. She took third at the show. And I've never seen pictures of her, and she's a impressive physique. And I thought she would probably, take second, but second went to Merrick, who took second at the Vancouver show. And I was surprised. Again, it's a situation where what the judges are seeing that we as just fans and laymen are not seeing.
Well, I can confirm it may be a little bit different on stage than watching it through our screens because I've been at least to one show. It is a lot more different when you actually are there in person, attending on the screen. Because they come off a lot more muscular in person than on screen. We see a lot more definition and stuff like that. So I think that may be one of them. But yeah, definitely new competitors competing as female bodybuilders. That'll be interesting to see if that were to happen. Like because I know I don't know if it was I remember there was an article a while back basically saying like watch out for these three women who are changing from female bodybuilding to physique, and it was like it was an interesting little article about these up and coming women who are now competing as female bodybuilders, and so yeah, it's definitely interesting to say the least. Yeah, I'm just going back through some of the Toronto show. I honestly think Michelle Jen could probably have won it if the judges had felt so. But once again, the judge, along with the judges that the judge chooses, um, they get to choose um, basically who his other judges are if they don't agree with him. So I mean them. Um, um, and there could have just been maybe a bias towards Lisa because she is Canadian. So
Yeah.
but who knows? Um, speculation. Uh, um, I thought Michelle Brent looked really good in this too. Like she's old. I mean,
Older.
yeah, she's older. She's like 60 something. That doesn't take from the fact that she's still a seasoned veteran of the sport. So she still can. Like she's not good in some areas, but she looked a hell of a lot better than the fourth place. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Who definitely needs to readjust things dramatically. Just self-criticism, constructive criticism, not like attack.
Yeah. You're just giving your thoughts and your opinion like anybody else. And like I said, when I do like videos like this, where I talk about some of the ladies say, you know what, they appreciate that critique because you know what, they used to being on stage being judged by judges. And the thing I want to learn about the judging thing, if the head judge, you could like I said, if the other 3 or 4 judges go with a certain competitor, the head judge might go with that one competitor. His position outweighs everybody. So okay, he said like, okay, we got this chick here. Say, nah, I'm not going with her. There's nothing he can do about it. So I think like if the head judge felt like, okay, he liked Lisa over Michelle, then that's who he's gonna go. And
Yeah, and they have to agree on one competitor. And if not, they have to then get rid of all the judges except the head judge, and then the head judge picks new judges, and that's a real pain in the ass to do. So unless it's like a really divisive opinion on something, I don't think that's going to happen a lot.
the thing is like bodybuilding is unlike sports like boxing and MMA where they had judges at the around the cage and the ringside. Bodybuilding is you tell like we say this about in MMA, especially if I do MMA content. When you have a fight, you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. There's some fights where it's been like robberies, but the thing is, when you have no choice but to leave it in the hands of the judges. But you really had to come in the best condition you can come. If you can bring your A game and you are at the top, and the judges say, you know what, we're gonna go with that person. That's good. But then when you see somebody say, you know what, why did the judges go with that? I mean, with that person, and I mean, to me, they just didn't look as complete, or they had just something about them. Like I've seen shows where I remember a lady I become great with, Miss Michelle Boswell, when she competed Chicago 2020 against Teresa Vasic, and Michelle looked pretty good. And Teresa, she looked like, I think, we say, I mean, not as good. But then they said the one thing about what hurt Rashana, because she said this when we got an interview, was from the backside, because Rashana's a thick girl. It's hard, a lot harder for women who are naturally well endowed in certain areas, especially in the thighs and in the quads. It really, you have to really kind of just drain yourself to bring in that definition, that styration in that lower part of your body. You have to really drain yourself. It's hard. It's difficult, and it's if Gisela knew that, she could have, she probably would have been. I think maybe after a situation where someone said they were in great shape when they got there, but then something happened. It could have been something stress. It could have been something that just got them out of the game. They looked good before they left. They looked great when they got there, but then something happened, and that's sometimes that could happen. You just wasn't as it's just something that's just kind of just took you out of your game.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I said basically like either take a year off or take several months off before competing again. A lot of things would have to change. Yeah, because I mean, she looks very. She's got a lot of water retention. She doesn't look as defined. She looks soft and very flabby in some areas. Just comparing her to Michelle Jen right here, and it's like night and day basically between the two. And I don't like her tan either. Her tan looks, compared to Michelle Jen, it doesn't work either. So with that, but I guess what can we take away from the Toronto Pro now that it's over? Well, we can take away a few things. One, Lisa Kudry has won her Olympia qualification. Congratulations to her. I hope she enjoys the Miss Olympia. Along with this, it's safe to assume almost 100% that Michelle Jen pretty much has qualified for the Miss Olympia. I mean, if she doesn't, it would be the circumstances would have to be so, like, unless I mean, if somebody beat her in terms of like the points, that would require like circumstances so extreme, like it's almost impossible. But the so she will compete at the Miss Olympia. Either she wins the pro qualification now, or she just gets there through. Gets there through the points, which I think she should do. I mean, that's what I would do in that kind of situation. Why compete again when I can just focus on the Olympia? And if I was her or Lisa Kudry, because they're both in that top mid-tier section, I would focus on trying to get third place, honestly. Third or second, but realistically third, or at least the top 5. Because that's where you get the points at, honestly. And keep in mind, Olympia points are higher than any other show's points, because it's the Olympia, obviously. Another interesting fact about Michelle Jen, she will be the first Chinese American competitor at the Miss Olympia. So congratulations on her on that. And besides that, Michelle Brent. If if she wants to attend the Miss Olympia as a final goodbye before she retires, I would suggest doing a smaller show. Actually, I would just, you know what? Screw it. I would just tell her to do every show she can, period. I mean, when you have nothing to lose, you could just keep doing it. And, I mean, why not?
Well, the thing is that not a lot of the girls want to do every show. That's a lot. It's expensive. She has a business. Michelle J. G.
Yeah.
Her husband, they sell.
I mean, not Michelle Jen. I meant
Michelle Brent. You mean yeah. I'm sorry. And it's expensive. If you don't have the funds, the means, you can't do every show. Some girls, if they can do a show like you think about, like okay, uh, Lisa did the indie. Then that's been about a month. Then she turns around and she does the Toronto. And then like Lisa, like Stephanie Fletcher, who did the indie, then just about a week later does New York. Some girls would have, let's say, they do one or two shows, and just they might do one show and then say, well, let me, if I do with a show, let me see, let me take some time, let me just. Some girls would do three, like I know they say, some would do four. So I remember Margita Zavalova, she did the Puerto Rico. She did another show. No, she did before after the Olympia. Margita did the Roman Muscle Fest. Then she did the Puerto Rico. Then she did the Portugal Pro, and then she did the Europa Championship, where she got a qualification.
Yeah.
And
I think the same thing for Tamara Makar. Last year she did like, was it 5 or 4 shows, or
I think she did 3. She did the. I most definitely know she did the Puerto Rico. She did the not the Puerto Rico. She did the New York Pro. She did. I believe she did Chicago. And I'm trying to remember. I think she did Tampa. And I'm trying to think. She did Savannah too.
I think so.
Savannah. It's Savannah. I asked Miss MIC. Tell me we are online together. But it's about, like I said, it's expensive. So you do a show if you can afford, like, if you live like someone like I'm trying to think of someone like a lady I've become friendly with, Miss Tina S. Williams, my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams. She lives in Kansas. So let's say she does the Omaha, and then she does the show in Atlanta or show in Savannah. Kansas is not too far from Georgia. She could drive there. I know when she was getting ready for Savannah, she had to fly. She had to fly to Georgia. I remember she told me how she took a plane. She was in Charlotte for a plane because they had changed planes. And then and that one thing I messed up was the fact where they misplaced her food and stuff like that. And that kind of messed her and her husband Big Keith up. It's about the travel, the distance. Now, if you can afford it, where I'm gonna do Omaha, do Puerto Rico, swing around, do Chicago, and then there's a show. There's shows overseas. Try to do one of those shows. See if I can earn qualification, because that's the first thing to do. I would say there's 2 shows over there, which is before the deadline for Olympia qualification by points, and by is to do the Portugal Pro and the Europa Championships. Then after that, you have the Romania Muscle Fest and the Big Man Weekend. But the thing is, it's about the cost. Travel to outside the country. That's why a lot of women would rather do shows here in the backyard. The Puerto Rico, I think Puerto Rico, being that it's United States territory, costs as much to travel compared to if you go to outside the country. There's a show in Brazil. And I was talking with some ladies about, hey, you try to do a show in Brazil. Some women told me that, nah, they didn't want to compete with the Brazilian chicks because they say that they take their gear a little seriously. But it's all about the opportunities, the cost, everything like that. If you feel that you're certain that you can win this show, if you do this show, you take the you can find the means and the money to do it. If you got to get a loan, if you got to put your house on a mortgage, a second mortgage on your house, and that's the way I talk about how this show should be more proper for these ladies, where they can have money, where they don't have to do some certain things to try to make their money. As they do the videos, the photos and video sessions for certain sites because that's the only way they can make a little profit in between competitions. You know, and if you have the means to, you have the means to afford to take a trip going from this show to this show. Do say, okay, I'm gonna do Toronto, then I do Omaha, then I do Puerto Rico. You should do it. If you don't, then you don't.
Yep. Yep. And so going forward, good time, I guess, to wrap up now. This Saturday, the 11th, the Omaha Pro will be held, and it's it's a tier 4 show. So it's not the biggest show on earth, basically. Not by a long shot. But still, the qualification, even if you needed like a few points to go up to be qualified, it's always good, especially when you got like those uh, uh, um, all those points. So basically, it's like so as of right now, in terms of points, Michelle Jen, Mona Priscilla, Stephanie Flesher, and Irene Anderson, they all have like enough points to be in the running for qualify for the Miss Olympia. So if one of them budges the other out, they can solidify that lead. I know somebody like Mona Pasella. She won the Tampa last year, so I could see something like that being done again with her. I could also see somebody like Stephanie Flesher come in and win a show like the Omaha or something like that.
Omaha, Puerto Rico, that'd be probably best for her.
Yeah. Is Irene Anderson, where is she at again exactly?
Irene lives in Sweden.
Yes.
So if I was her, she should do either the Europa Championships or she's done it before. She could do she might even do the Puerto Rico or do the Portugal Pro. Because those, or she can come here and do the Chicago or do Tampa. But she lives overseas. I would say try the Portugal Pro or the Europa Championship. Even if you don't win that show, if you get enough points, you can do pretty good. You just got to get enough where you don't get out of the top 3.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking with her one time on IG. I told her when she was visiting Hella Trevino over in Mexico. I said to her, I told her, why you here? Why don't you just come to the States? You can go to Arizona because Jake would probably set up someplace, train and do a show here. But she has things and responsibilities. She has family. She has other responsibilities back in Sweden. So she couldn't do it. But your kid's gonna watch your dog and stuff like that. Whatever else. But this was these American shows will probably get you, especially if you come in good condition. She could go to Toronto and probably win that show, and get qualification. We have here is one King Dale Clark. Hey, brother. I say, yeah, I appreciate it. And King Dale just dropped me some information. A question for you, if you don't mind. Another bodybuilder recently passed away. Can you shed light on what's causing all these deaths in bodybuilding? Well, Dale, basically, sometimes it's about, as you know, as I was talking with Aubrey, the human body cannot tell the difference between muscle and fat. Even though muscle is a little bit, not as heavy as fat, it's just how it takes a lot of blood and air to fuel muscle. And also, with the people using some kind of certain gear, stuff like that, like antibiotic steroids or any kind of heavy EPOs that could also be effect. But sometimes it could be just some underlying issues with that person. That's what really I can say about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the only thing I would like to add at the end, before I gotta go, because I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Irene Anderson, she could attend some shows in like Romania or Spain or Portugal because they're all connected in the European Union. So there's that free travel. Um, they're all connected. There's no, you can go across border. It's kind of like the United States with the states, basically.
Yeah. Well, with the
With
problem
that,
with that one in Romania, she has to do that after like she can do that before the Olympia, where she gets a qualification because I think the Romanian Muscle Fest is November, but that will go to points for next year. But she
I
wants,
I think that would still carry over even into the current Olympia because I mean I read it here. It literally says this year's OQS 2022 um, 2022 Olympia qualification system lasts until November 20th, 2022. So that would cover it. But
okay.
um,
'Cause remember last year it was like
yeah,
till.
they change it up every year. But anyway, catch you at Omaha, everybody. Peace out.
All right, see you later, Jen. That was my partner, Hannah the Emperor, Jen. He is the guy who keeps me up with information. He really knows his stuff. I kind of like middle along and bullshit a little bit, but yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. But yeah, this show could have been a great opportunity for certain women who wanted to qualify for the Olympia. I said again, ladies, when you get an opportunity like that, I understand you want to take a break. You want to spend some time with your family. You want to, and also some ladies are preparing by getting the vaccination. But when you see a show like this, when it's only four competitors, and even you maybe 2 weeks from your prep or something like that, if you feel like what, I can come in and win this show, take it, take it, take that opportunity, because you never know. You give you points that you need, or you win and go on to the Olympia. But this was a show was this used to be a lot more popular show, but ever since the what happened with last year or 2 years ago with the virus, we didn't have a one show in 2020. Came back in 2021, and and maybe things maybe happen change next year in 2023. We might get see more bodies again once things settle with this virus going around. But the fact is, this was showed that was a missed opportunity for a lot of competitors. They should have took a shot at it. But we still got a couple of shows for the rest of this month. I know we have the Omaha coming up this week. There's the Puerto Rico coming, I think, next week. And then after that, we have I think most ladies are more focused on the shows coming this summer. And that's the July. And that's, the Atlanta show and also Chicago and the other shows. A couple of, there's the Portugal show is overseas. And also there's a show in, no, actually, also this month is a show in Brazil. So, we shot some ladies like, hey, take this opportunity because you never know if the competitors, even though it'd be tough to compete against these Brazilian girls because they do come a little more like the Brazilian women really come hard, they really come seriously. But you never know. You could come in, be in better condition than some of those competitors, and then you get your qualification. So check out that show in Brazil. It's the I forgot the name. It's the Muscle Contest. It's run by Muscle Contest. It's a Brazilian show. All you gotta do is go to NPC Online, go to their their list of shows, and check them out. If you find a show that's your show you want to compete in, the show that earned you qualification or enough points to qualify you for the Olympia, you should take it. jump on any opportunity you want to get because this is competition. And I know, the big thing is Olympia is the big show. Everybody wants to get to Olympia. You want to get there, you get to sometimes maybe, not always, just take the opportunity when it's given to you. You got to grab it. So anyway, I'd like to thank my man King Dale Clark for dropping through, brother. If you can post later in the comment section about who this one that passed away, if it's a man or woman. If it's a man, I might talk about it. If it's a woman, I'll talk about it because like I say, I always try to bring up news like this. It's important to know. But thank you for your support, everybody out there. Appreciate it. Much. I hope you all enjoyed your, rest of your week. We'll be back next Monday. We're talking about the Omaha. We have not officially got the names yet. They usually don't post until like about, I think that Wednesday or maybe, that Wednesday, I think they officially put down the name for who's going to be at the Omaha. I know this show being that it's shown in the United States, we're probably going to have more bodies, because some ladies are probably shooting for the show because it's a show, it's a smaller venue show. It's even though it's the point system is not as much, it's a show that is a good chance to qualify. Maybe Michaela Acock, who competed last year, might do the show, or a couple other ladies who say we were focused on maybe that feel that they're certain that they can probably get their qualification in Olympia by doing this show or do the show. But it's all up in the air. And it's all up depending on what they want to do. So anyway, I like to appreciate my man. I appreciate my brother and my partner in crime, Jen. I appreciate everybody who listens. Like, comment, subscribe. And so again, folks, I am at over 100 subscribers now. I'd like to thank y'all for getting me to there. And maybe by the end of the year, we get to 900. And maybe by the end of the year, we get to 1,000. So whatever support you do, comment, like, share. This is Muscle Talk number 87. It's in the books. It will be long before we hit 100. So thank you for support. So this is my always George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.